Welcome everybody, Center on the Hill. We're on the diabetes class on Zoom again. So I hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving. I hope they were able to see their family and friends and Zoom and talk. Even a phone call makes the most important difference in our mental health and our friends or our family mental health. So I like to start off with, talking about Thanksgiving and making sure that everybody is connecting with their friends and family safely over, Zoom and the phone calls and things. We all have a lot of leftovers. I've been talking to a lot of people, and yeah, those small turkeys were gone very quickly. So a lot of us ended up with bigger turkeys and a lot of leftovers. But put it in the freezer, keep it safe, enjoy it. Remember the good times. And like I said, we're going into winter. We want to think about our mental health. You might feel fine now, but we want to keep it in mind. Open the blinds in the morning, go for a walk if we can in the afternoon. Be as active as we can, and be in touch with our friends and family. Safely over phone calls and Zoom and that kind of thing. Keeping in touch. We have a few new people on Zoom today talking about diabetes. A lot of people have come back again. Good to see you, Ted, and some other people. So I'm glad you're here. And so we'll just dive right in. Basically, diabetes is where your pancreas is having some trouble, and everybody who has diabetes has it differently. So we're not using the term diabetics anymore because that sounds like a group of people who all have the same thing. And I wish that was how diabetes was, but no, it makes my job very interesting. So everybody, like I said, you are your own boss when it comes to diabetes. The doctors try to get your best interest in their 15 minutes that they get to see you. So definitely, if you're going to see your doctor, have a list of questions. Come see me, amblernutrition.com. I can also help with the diabetes for your own thing. But here in the bottom corner, they have somebody driving a little convertible, and they're talking to their friends and their doctors and things, and know that you are in the driver's seat, that you know your body better than the doctor does. And whatever they say, taking it into consideration and try it out. But if it doesn't work, call your doctor within that week and say, my blood sugars are too high, or especially if my blood sugars are too low, they can modify your medication. They can give you different medication, all different kinds of things. So you are in the driver's seat, and you need to help, run this diabetes car. So as we're going up, over here, it says no U-turn. That is not correct. This is a page from like 2014 or whatever, and there's been a lot of nutrition research on diabetes, and with a plant-based diet, with having lots of vegetables and healthy proteins, lean proteins, plant-based proteins, we can give your pancreas a break. It can heal. I've seen many people who have prediabetes get out of that zone and continue on with life that does not include diabetes, getting off metformin and all that kind of thing. So I have seen it with people with type 2 diabetes, but they really converted to a vegan diet, and not everybody's ready for that. But if you're ready for it, give me a call. I can help you find some good recipes and that kind of thing. We're going to meet on Zoom for the 2 weeks in December and 2 weeks in January. And the first week, we're going to talk about regular diabetes stuff and a little bit about the food. And the second week, we're going to talk more about meal planning and recipes and foods, and a little bit about diabetes. So, and also both of these classes, whether you have diabetes or not, whether you inject insulin or your pancreas is fine and it gives you insulin, a lot of this has to do with weight loss, weight maintenance, whether or not you have diabetes or not. So I welcome everybody. This is a nutrition class. It is geared towards diabetes, but honestly, the best nutrition for people who have diabetes, the most nutritious diet. So the most nutrition is what we're looking for, with the least amount of processed foods and fluff. No U-turn for diabetes. That's not correct. We can do it with a variety of different ways. But like I said, big thing is when you digest animal protein, whether it's cheese, eggs, chicken, beef, they're all from animals, fish. Your pancreas has to give 5 different enzymes, and that's hard on your pancreas. So if you go with the plant-based proteins like lentils, kidney beans, edamame beans, white beans, if you're going to go with the teriyaki tofu or the smoky tempeh or the chorizo seitan. These are all proteins that are plant-based, and all the pancreas has to do, give a little insulin, it gives it a break, and it can heal. So as we're going up the trail of on the road to better managing your diabetes conversation map, that's what this says up at the very top. And as we're on the road, the next thing is watch out for the myths and the pitfalls of diabetes. A lot of people hear diabetes and they say, okay, now you have to eat 100% sugar-free. And they're talking about artificial sweeteners. They're not talking about unsweetened tea. So we got to watch out for the artificial sweeteners. We have to watch out those different processed foods, because they really hurt the bugs that are in our stomach and our intestines. That's your gut biome, and your gut biome does so much more than just regulate your poop schedule. So it balances our hormones, it balances our weight, it gives us a clear brain so we can talk clearly. Yes, I need more of that, and having good sleep and all that kind of thing. So some different myths that I've heard is, you can catch it from your friends and family. If it's genetic, you will get it from your ancestors, but basically it is not something that you can catch. Some people get diabetes from different medical medicines. Some people will have injury to their pancreas from a car accident or a trauma. There's a variety of different ways that we can get diabetes, but majority is through diet. And again, the diet is mostly animal proteins. So sitting down to a big steak and not having any vegetables at all is how you're going to give your pancreas a really hard time. And years of that can lead to diabetes. So it's not the sugar, it's the meat. There's a lot of myths and a lot of facts. So we kind of went over a little bit of those. As you're going along, you see all this luggage here by this car. It's kind of hard to see, but just so you know, there is a lot of emotions that go with this, and don't squash them down. You need to have hope. You need to have strength. You need to have a support group. There's all different kinds of websites. One of them I was just talking about was called diatribe.org. It has a whole bunch of news articles and tips and communities where people are talking about how they're managing their diabetes. And it's a pretty good website called diatribe.org. It's from a book called Bright Spots and Landmines, and it's from a guy, I think he's in his 20s or early 30s, who has type 1 diabetes and all the different things that he has found to make his life really good. So we have to think about, there is some fear with it because there's a lot of unknowns. It's fearful also for your doctor because he doesn't know the extent of what your diabetes is. It might be mild, it might be, you've had diabetes for longer. A lot of people come out of, they find out they have diabetes from diabetes ketoacidosis. That's DKA, and it's basically you're throwing up every 2 hours. Your blood sugar is ridiculously high, and you end up in the emergency room. They pump you full of fluids first, and then eventually they give you a little bit of insulin, and then they can do a test. A GAD is an antibody that shows that you might have an autoimmune disease that is causing type 1 diabetes. So when people have DKA, they sometimes have type 2 diabetes where they have a little bit of insulin, or they might have that antibody where they have the autoimmune disease and the body is digesting the B cells in the pancreas, so you don't have any insulin. But a lot of people are living great, healthy lives with type 1 diabetes. It's neither here nor there. Whether you're allergic to peanuts, you have to watch your diet for type 2 diabetes, or if you have to take insulin with type 1 diabetes, everybody has a little something with their health. What do they say? Everybody's normal until you get to know them. Yeah, that's how it all is. So do not feel guilty. There is really nothing, unless you've been eating steak for, every day for 2 years, there's really nothing, or you were in a car accident that you caused. There's really no reason why you could have feel guilty, because this is not about eating sugar when you're little. Fear, anger. Yeah, we're all going to have some anger. Let it out. Talk to somebody about it. It is, you think your life is one way, and now diabetes gets in there, so it's going to be a little bit different. So think about your emotions and talk through them with people who can identify. Don't let your friends and family shame you or make you feel that you can't have desserts or all of these kind of things. We can talk about that next week, but basically you're living your life just like they are, and you're probably more healthy. So that's a great thing. Over here, it looks like a library. A car is pulling up. I have some things written on here. These are the different body parts that give our sugar, that give our bloodstream sugar. So yes, if we eat some cake or we eat some potatoes or some whole grain bread, our blood sugar is going to go up. Our blood sugar goes up even if we have eggs and spinach and cheese. There's no carbs in that, but even the proteins and the fibers, they can increase our blood sugar. If you were just to drink a protein drink, your blood sugar will go up. So diet is part of it. But also you have sugar stored in your muscles, you have it stored in your liver. And when you move around, your liver can help your muscles and everything else give more sugar to your bloodstream. So you have energy to work out and that kind of thing. Of course, the pancreas has insulin. So when you have high blood sugar, like you just ate, or you're in exercising in the beginning, or anyway, you have a high blood sugar, your insulin can give you, your pancreas can give you some insulin, open up the cells, get the sugar out of bloodstream and into the cells, lowers your blood sugar. So that's what we want to see. The next thing is our intestines. They have a hormone called DPP. Insulin only lasts about 30 seconds or something. It doesn't last long at all. DPP makes the insulin stay in shape and work on those insulin receptors and make it last a whole lot longer. The other thing is body fat. So when people lose weight, they will have a higher blood sugar than the people who are not on a weight loss diet. There's a lot of carbohydrates coming from the fat that you're burning. Yay! So your insulin, well, you have to be more active to burn that sugar off out of your bloodstream. In your brain, when you have something sweet, signals your pancreas to get ready, and your body is all ready to have sugar. And if you end up with an artificial sweetener, your body's just looking for other sweets to have. So if you have a diet tea, with the artificial sweetener in it, and you finish that, and you had your nice salad with tuna fish, so basically, or whatever protein, you're not having any carbs with that meal. The rest of the afternoon, you're looking for chips, you're looking for crackers, you're looking for the cake. It's just the way it works. And carbs want more carbs and sweets want carbs. After you have that diet drink, you're not looking for more broccoli. You're not looking for, a cheese stick or something. So think about the artificial sweeteners and cutting back, because they can really mess up how your brain feels for the food. There is another, well, there's three medicines. I talked about the DPP4. There's also the kidneys. Oh, here it is, the kidneys right here. So the kidneys is the Floxin medicine. So that would be like Jardiance and things like that, where your body has blood sugar in the bloodstream. The bloodstream goes through your kidneys. The kidneys filter out the sugar. Typically, they give it back to you so that you have the energy. But with Floxin medicines, then you just pee it out. So you want to drink lots of water because you don't want to have a lot of sugar in your pee, because you are going to do that. You want to have, flush the whole thing out. That's very, very important. Yeah, so I was talking about the DPP4. That's a medication. A GLP-1, that would be the Ozempic. That's another injection you take once a week. And again, these help make your pancreas give you a little bit more insulin if you're type 2. It helps you slow your digestion, so that the sugar and the carbohydrates in your stomach get released into your bloodstream more slowly, that your body can handle it, and also makes the insulin last longer, so that when you do, either whether you inject it as type 1 or type 2, or you have insulin in your blood, that it has time to work, because the GLP-1 also slows that down. So then we come over here, and it says things that can make your blood glucose go up and down. So, of course, the first thing we talked about was food. The second thing was illness. So whether you ate cake or you broke your ankle or you have a toothache, anything that stresses your body increases your blood sugar. You don't have to eat. You could be eating a protein and vegetables, and your blood sugar will be high because you have an infection or you have an injury or that kind of thing. So illness, activity, like I said, when you first start working out, your blood sugar is going to be high. So don't look at that. Give yourself about 10 or 15 minutes during the activity, and that will burn through the blood, the sugar in your veins. The other thing is with insulin, there's been some studies that type 1 can reduce their blood sugar without giving insulin. And that is because there's this channel that when you get out of breath, it can open up, and then the bloodstream, the sugar in the bloodstream can leave the bloodstream and get into the cells because of that channel, because you got out of breath. So when you're exercising, try to look for some stairs or something that so you can get out of breath. So we have food, illness, activity, stress. That's what I've been talking about with Thanksgiving and talking with your friends. The more you can de-stress, the better you will be with maintaining a target blood sugar. Whether you're checking your blood sugar or not, the healthy blood sugar range is between 80 and 130. You really don't want to drop into the 70s or 60s. It's a low blood sugar. A lot of confusion happens, shakiness, sweating is uncomfortable. And then also, we don't feel when we have high blood sugar. So you want to keep your blood sugar at 140 or 180 2 hours after a meal. So don't look at your blood sugar an hour after eating. It's going to be sky high. That doesn't matter. You just ate something, and the food is dumped into your bloodstream. Your bloodstream will normalize. And by normalized, I mean like under 180. So 180 2 hours after a meal is not bad. But before a meal, you do want to see it between 80 and 140. If you go into a meal and your blood sugar is 180, maybe you don't want to have so much carbs in that meal. Maybe you're going to, or maybe you want to go for a walk. Have your regular meal, but think about your insulin. Don't give you so much, and aim for exercising or something after that meal. Again, give yourself an hour or half an hour, whatever it is, to digest. But like I said, not just insulin goes into those receptors to open the cells, but also that channel when you get out of breath, so you can really reduce your blood sugar. But if you didn't have a lot of carbs in that meal, that can be a benefit. So if you go into the meal at 180, you're having salad with tuna fish, and then half an hour later, you're going for a walk. 2 hours after that meal, it should be back down below 180. So activity, stress, alcohol, medicine. Yeah, there's different medicines like steroids that can increase your blood sugar regularly. Some of the anti-anxiety medicines that we're all on these days, they can also increase your blood sugar. So if you are on the medicines that are increasing your blood sugar, know that you're just going to have to be more active, and you're going to have to watch your carbs. Watch them. Don't have so many. If you can have 1 or 2 servings of carbs per meal, that's 15 grams of carbs is 1 serving. So you're going to have a sandwich that's open face. You only have 1 piece of bread. That would be 1 serving. If you want to have 2 servings, you can have 2 pieces of bread, or you have it open face with a piece of fruit. And the fruit is a carb too. So I'm thinking about reducing your carbs when you're having medications. But alcohol is a toxin. So yes, we have mixers with it, but if you were to do Diet Coke with rum, just know the body takes that as a toxin, and it's a stress. And what does the body do when it's stressed? Increases our blood sugar. So I would say modulate your alcohol intake. Definitely have it with a meal. Don't have alcohol in an empty stomach. And the most important thing with any kind of simple carbs, whether it's pretzels or fruit, or if it's alcohol, like a glass of wine or something, you want to have some fat, some protein, some fiber to be in your stomach. So that way the alcohol and the simple sugars, the rice and the cake and the Thanksgiving desserts don't go right directly into your bloodstream so fast. Having a little bit of nuts or some cheese, or having some turkey before you have that other taste of pumpkin pie, that can help. So that's some things. So coming around here, how your blood sugar can go up and down. What it's like to have high blood sugar. Most people don't have symptoms, but fatigue, blurred vision, thirst, headaches, frequent urination, mood swings. Some people get these symptoms, but not everybody. I know lots of people who have come into our endocrinology office and blood sugar is almost 600 and they're perfectly fine. And then we're like, well, maybe something's wrong with the glucometer. And then you take another blood test and it's like, oh my gosh, no, you are like 590 or whatever. And what do? We end up giving them water. The water, again, just flushes it through the kidneys, whether they're on that medicine or not. But the water is the first thing. And then they take their insulin when they get home. Some low blood sugar symptoms. They have here shakiness, sweats, like it might be cold out, but you're still sweaty. Headaches, mood swings, irritability, confusion. That's a big one. Hunger and nausea, fast heartbeat, hunger, like you want to eat every single thing in the house, including the furniture. So the hunger could be it, but the confusion is also. So it's tricky when you have low blood sugar. And some people feel it at like 90, and some people feel it not until like 30 or 40. Some people walk around at 25. We were taught in school that somebody under 60 will be passed out. That is not always the case. So everybody has diabetes different. You know how you feel when you have low blood sugar. If your blood sugar is often in the 200s and you feel weak at like 100 or 110, then we need to wean yourself off of the carbohydrates and get used to having your blood sugar at the 130, 140 range. That's a big drop. So you're going to feel a little not so great. But the best thing for your nerves and your body and your sight and your toes, everything, is to get that blood sugar back into 80 to 140 range. Let's see, we get into, it says here, beware of complications. And again, a sugar molecule is really big, and it's got all kinds of scratchy parts to it. It can wear down the surface of your veins. It can break through the microscopic structure of your kidneys. It can cause blockages towards your heart. Again, your eyes are a most amazing structure. And your brain, again, so many nerves, and it's amazing. There's only one little nerve strand that connects your eyes to your brain, and it's fed by a couple of capillaries. Those capillaries get blocked with sugar and they get ruined. You don't see so well. So we want to make sure that our blood sugar, again, after a meal under 180, before a meal under 140. Complications. Oh, the other thing about complications is when these nerves go, like you've had high blood sugar a while, you can't feel when you hurt yourself. So say you did get a cut on your foot or your hand or whatever, bacteria comes in there and they love sugar, and you don't know you got hurt. You have poor circulation. You can't get the white blood cells to kill off that bacteria. They just flourish. One thing leads to another. You understand gangrene and infections and all that kind of thing. So we don't want to go down that road. We want to make sure that our blood sugars are in normal range. And again, plenty of vegetables is the key. If you're going to have animal protein, if you have a cup of animal protein, you're going to need 2 cups of vegetables. That's how those enzymes in the vegetables can get that protein become muscle, and we can digest it better. We do not need to have a lot of carbs in our diet, but again, if you have no carbs, you're going to have no vitamin B and you're going to be sleepy. So try to have a little bit of carbs with your meals. We're talking a half a cup of pasta or rice or potatoes, 1 slice of bread, some fruit. If you are in the type 1 range where you have lost some muscle, we want to have more than that. We would want to have like 3 or 4 servings of protein. So that's going to be even more vegetables. If you're going to have, we'll look at the plant-based proteins, because at this point when you're trying to build muscle, they're the fastest and easiest way to do that. They don't have a lot of fat, and the sugars can get into your muscles and build them fast. Let's see, we come up here. Know what affects your blood glucose. I should ask, is there any questions that I've gone through? Because I've gone through a lot of information right now. If you have any questions, just unmute yourself and let me know. Okay, Ted. Oh, I don't hear you. You're unmuted, but I don't hear you. Is there a chat where we can, is there a way that somehow you're, I can't hear your audio. Can you go to the chat and type it in and I'll look at it? No, it's not better. I can read lips. Marianne, did you have a question?
I did.
Okay.
I recall you're mentioning at one point about how many vegetables you should have during the day. Maybe I misunderstood. A serving is 2 cups, is that correct?
Actually, vegetables, we would like to have 5 cups of vegetables a day.
Just 5?
Yeah, 5 cups. So think about berries in the morning, because I count that as vegetables. It's high in fiber, high in nutrition. And then, the salad and the vegetable soups and, grilled vegetables, mushrooms, onions, these are all good.
So it's only 5. I must have misunderstood. I thought you said a serving was 2 cups.
A serving is No, a serving of vegetables, I see what you're saying. It really depends on how much protein you're having. If you're only having a half a cup of protein, then you will double it for the vegetables. So if you have a half a cup of protein, then you would have a cup of vegetables. But if you are somebody who's going to have a cup and a half of protein, then you're going to need 3 cups of vegetables.
Oh,
See
I
how it
see.
goes? Yeah. So just if you have double the vegetables, then you have the protein, you're in good shape. Athletes, they need more carbohydrates and more energy. They will have 3 times. So if you look at these energy bars that the athletes have, if they have 10 grams of protein, the most effective ones have 30 grams of carbs. But again, this is processed food, and I would rather we look more at having,
Real food.
yeah,
Right.
real food. Somebody said, "What does real food mean?" I'm like, chicken with broccoli, or lentil soup with some spinach in it, or these kind of things. Ted, were you able to get your volume going? Oh no, I can't hear you. At the bottom, if you go to the bottom of your screen with your mouse, you can do a chat and you can type in. Okay, but I can read lips, but I'm just not that good at it. Yeah, so the question was, what is a serving of vegetables? And it's really the double of the protein. I will say that I've had people buy a bag of vegetables, and it's about this big, and they read the back, and it says 4 servings, and when you measure it out, it's about a quarter cup. That is not true. A serving of vegetables is about a cup. But like I said, if you're a smaller person and you're only having, maybe 2 ounces of tuna fish or something, then you'd want, well, that would be about a half a cup. I know it's the weight versus the volume, but yeah, we're looking at doing whatever you see twice as much as the vegetables. If you're going to have a salad, look what size your salad is and half that and put the chicken on there. That's so your salad might be 2 cups, your chicken might be 1 cup, or your tuna fish, but then you also have to think about the plant-based proteins. They're going to be 50-50 carbs and protein, so you don't have to double it. If you're having a cup of lentils, you just need a cup of vegetables. It's kind of confusing, but I don't know. I want you to have more of the beans and the lentils and the smoky tempeh and all that kind of thing. So again, Kirsten Puskar, Ambler Nutrition, I can give you more recipes and stuff like that. And we are going to talk about more recipes next week. Let's see. So we're talking here. They've gotten up to the rest area. Oh, wait. Let me just check the. Okay. You're not able to do the chat yet. Oh, okay. Before you do some activity, we want to have some energy. We don't want you to go to the gym on an empty stomach. Your body can't make muscle as well, and it really can't burn fat. Once your body is at peace and it knows that you have had some food and you're not starving to death, then it will be able to burn fat much better. So, and here we are. You said the pancreas secretes insulin and glucagon. What is a glucagon? So glucagon is the sugar in our muscles. How can I describe this? Yes, so glucagon is, there's a bunch of different words for glucose. And when it's in our, stored in our liver or in our muscles, that's the hormone glucagon releases the glucose in our muscles. So yeah, in our pancreas, it secretes amylin. It secretes, which stops the insulin. It secretes glucagon, which lets the sugar come out of our muscles in our pancreas. And it also does a little bit with DPP4 and there's a whole lot of different things. That liver is really and the pancreas, both of them are very lots of different enzymes and things like that. And the best way to balance all this is having vegetables in our diet. So people can't give up their half a chicken for dinner, or six ounces of fish and all that kind of thing. I can't. Best I can do is tell you the truth, and if you're not ready to do that, that's fine. Just make sure you're adding more vegetables. And if you know that you want to have 2 cups of chicken, say a cup of chicken is about, a chicken thigh. So say you want to have 3 chicken thighs, that's about 6 cups of vegetables. So let's get that 6 cups of vegetables in you first, and then have those, see how much chicken you can eat. it's tricky, I know, but it's just, if you want to help your pancreas have more vegetables. Okay, let me just think. Check your eating and if you are checking your blood sugar, absolutely check your blood sugar before you're going on a hike or you're getting ready to do yard work, or if you're going to go to the gym down in our basements. If you're going to do a dance video like Zumba and that kind of thing, check your blood sugar, make sure that you are above 100 at least. If you're starting this exercise and you're at 80, you're only going to drop lower and you're going to feel miserable and you're not going to have the energy to do what you wanted to do in your exercise. So have a snack that has a little bit of protein and it's mostly carbs. So that could be a granola bar, it could be peanut butter crackers, it could be some almonds and some fruit. That's all a good thing. Some people will have chocolate milk. I'm not a big dairy person, and the chocolate soy milk well, actually soy milk has protein in it, but the almond milk does not. So if you're getting chocolate almond milk, it's just 100% carbs. I don't know, have some nuts with that, but that kind of thing. So be mindful of how much energy is in your body. And if you are having low blood sugar, have a snack before you do an activity. But basically plan to do your activities after breakfast or after lunch or after dinner. Can you imagine doing an activity after dinner? We would really love that. Over here is a farmer's market. And they talk about what you eat, how much you eat, and when you eat. So again, I've talked a lot about what you eat. Try to incorporate vegetables in every meal, even at the schools. For Philadelphia School District to get reimbursed for the free meals from Harrisburg, they have to show that each student took half a cup of either fruits or vegetables. Wow, not protein, not dairy, vegetables. I thought that was really telling. How much you eat, you want to have enough for breakfast that you can make it to lunch without having a snack. So some people only need, a half a cup of berries and a few walnuts, and they can make it to 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Other people, they're going to need to have 2 or 3 eggs. They're going to have the broccoli and the cheese. They're going to have the peanut butter toast and, a protein shake or something like that. There's different people have different sizes and different metabolisms. So whatever is good for you that you can go 4 to 6 hours, that is the key, not snacking. This 2-hour snack just raises your blood sugar. It takes 2 hours for your blood sugar to come back down. And there you are having another snack and another snack and another snack. So try to give yourself a break for, 6 hours and see if you have breakfast at 7, if you can go until 1. So it's going to be a hearty breakfast and it's going to be a hearty lunch. If you're having lunch at 1, you want to have dinner at 7. You really don't want to have that snack at 4 or 5 o'clock that we really want. So think about having enough breakfast that you're too full for dinner. That's the key. People lose more weight if they can have the bulk of their calories before 3 p.m. So that's something to think about. And I just talked about when you eat. So you want to eat every 6 hours. If you can't and you have to go every 4 hours, that's okay. But you don't want to snack every 2 hours. You want to eat, every 6 hours if you can do it. What else we got? Keeping active. Is about 20 of 1. I did want to go over some news because there was a study that showed, again, that people who do short bursts of energy, they get to burn off more of the sugar in their bloodstream and they end up doing better. Was there any questions? Everybody's good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And let's see. Over here is diabetes medicine. Oh, it's off the chart. There we go. There we go. So getting a peek into my office there. We're in the dining room right now. Can you believe this? So and this is the diabetes medicine. And basically there's 8 different classes and it all has to do with the body parts. So we can, if your medicine isn't working, you don't feel comfortable on it, it has side effects you don't like, talk to your doctor. There's another class of medicine that you can go on to. Generally, they're always starting people off with metformin and a lifestyle change. Now the studies are showing, we need to be aggressive about this. They're going with metformin, a GLP-1 injection like Ozempic, and then the flaxen with the kidneys. So doctors are transitioning to get into 3 different things. Excuse me. Hey. So the other thing is go for your goal. Work with your medical team. Work with your friends and your family. Have them know that the studies are showing that the best diabetes diet includes a little bit of carbs. If you're going to have a celebration, which we all are going to have right now between Thanksgiving and Christmas and New Year's, we're going to have these cakes and celebrations and champagne and these kind of things. Make sure you do it with a meal in your stomach. If you have your dessert right after meal, it will work. The insulin that you've had for the meal will work on those desserts right away. So don't have your meal and then an hour later having your dessert. That just extends your high blood sugar from the meal. So it's better to have that dessert right after. So save room for dessert so that you can have it. And again, if you know they're having this raspberry white chocolate cheesecake or something that you really want to have, don't have as many of the potatoes and the stuffing or I'm just trying to think of what some carbs are, the cranberry sauce, whatever you would have for these festive meals, so that you know that your carbs will be good for the vegetables or the cheesecake and that kind of thing. Is there any other thing that we want to go? Did anybody have any questions of everything that I talked about? We're good? Okay, so I get news from email on like 5 or 6 different websites, and I'm going to read them to you. I'm sorry. I wish you guys could read them, but we can't do that because we're not in class. Even in class, it was difficult. So a dietitian lists the health benefits of white tea. So black tea is a mature leaf. The white tea is immature. It's still green. It hasn't been dried out. And then the green tea is an immature leaf. It is just starting to bud out. And the immature leaf and the white tea have more enzymes than the black tea does. It's an older leaf. So white tea, which is made from tea leaves that have been harvested early, has a slightly lower caffeine content than green and black, and contains antioxidants that are helpful for fighting inflammation and certain neurodegenerative diseases, says this dietitian. White tea's manganese content also makes it beneficial for bone health, and it may help with controlling blood glucose levels, which could reduce the risk of some cancer. The one person said that was from Well and Good on October 29th. So think about incorporating either green tea or white tea into your diet. Again, it helps with bone health and reducing it basically modulates a lot of your hormones. So it modulates your blood sugar, and it's also, another study shows it's good for heart health. So study links flavanol intake with lower blood sugar. In different color vegetables and fruits are different types of flavanols, and those flavanols really help with blood pressure. And one, I can just tell you, hibiscus tea is known, if a couple cups a day can reduce blood pressure. So there's different foods that can reduce blood pressure. A study in Scientific Reports found that an association between a diet with high amounts of flavanol-rich foods, such as berries, cocoa, and tea, reduce blood pressure. The study notably was the first to use nutritional biomarkers and to objectively measure intake of flavanols, a bioactive food component that several studies have associated with other health benefits. And that's in Genetic Engineering and Biotechnology News on October 21st. So the more colors of your vegetables, the better it is for your blood pressure. So another one is exercise is crucial to long-term weight management. I've been saying this, try to be active every day. Healthcare providers can help motivate people with obesity and put the focus on physical activity volume as a way to help them avoid regaining weight, says this doctor of the Department of Nutrition Sciences at the University of Alabama in Birmingham. Wyatt emphasized the importance of maintaining a high volume of physical activity and recommended 300 minutes per week of active activity to maintain weight loss. And that's from Endocrine Today on October 24th. 300 minutes. Anybody got the math on that? 30 minutes, so that would be 10 30-minute sessions a week. Wow. So 7 30-minute, so that would be like 30 minutes every day, and then on the weekend, you go for an hour instead of half an hour. But it's also there's other articles that talk about short bursts are really good. So instead of doing 30 minutes, in the morning after breakfast, you could do 15 minutes after breakfast and 15 minutes after dinner. So breaking it up is a really good thing. B12 dosage for kids, pregnancy, and seniors. I think I read this last week, but basically, even though you eat meat, you still need about 50 micrograms a day. If you want to take a pill every day, it goes under your tongue. The vitamin B12 cannot be digested in the digestion tract. It has to be absorbed through membranes and right into your bloodstream. So looking at 50 micrograms a day, or you could do 1,000 micrograms once or twice a week. It's very hard to digest, so you cannot overdose on B12. You cannot. You can barely get enough B12. B12 comes from the dirt. Our food and our vegetables are very clean, aseptic, so we're not getting enough vitamin B12. If you are on a vegan diet and you don't have animal protein, then you are going to need 2,500 twice a week or 2,500 once a week, depending on how big you are. Larger people need more vitamin B12. But again, if you were to take it twice a week, you're not going to overdose on it. It's very difficult to absorb, and we need a good gut biome in order to absorb it. Low fitness levels are linked to anxiety and depression. So a study of more than 150,000 people published in BMC Medicine found cardiorespiratory fitness and muscle strength, especially the two together, had a significant impact on mental health. The study, which examined factors like heart rate, grip strength, anxiety, and depression, adds to a growing body of evidence that keeping physically active can help prevent or mitigate mental health problems. So right now, with the bad news of COVID all the time, try to go out for a walk, try to lift some weights, try to look at some Zumba and some dance videos. Keeping active will keep your spirits up. Diabetes patients benefit from short, frequent exercise. This is where I was telling you about that channel that opens up so you don't have to go through the insulin receptors. A study published from the American Journal of Physiology and Heart and Circulatory Physiology, wow, suggests that people with type 2 diabetes and type 1, but they say mostly type 2, see more improvement in blood vessel function from shorter, more frequent bouts of exercise. The researchers noted that the frequency of exercise sessions may be more important than their duration in terms of improving blood vessel function. So again, this is good for your heart disease, and they're looking at 2 15-minute sessions instead of 1 30. It's a 30-minute session, so that's good. The RD lists nutrients that support your body's healing process. So that's important. Proper nutrition can help play a role in healing the body from damage, according to the registered dietitian nutrition, Barbara Quinn, who speaks from her own experience after a surgery. So she had surgery, and of course she's a dietitian, so she's going to have a lot of food. But she looked into the research and she found that it corroborated her story. Protein helps repair skin and bone damage, so that's protein. Calcium can strengthen the bones. Vitamin D helps the body absorb more calcium, and vitamin C is needed to produce more collagen. And the full story is in the Monterey County Herald in California, and that was just last week. Is there any questions? Okay. Fruits and veggies help boost immunity. So eating fruits and veggies each day, including grapes, is recommended to support immune function and to protect against heart disease and diabetes, which inhibit immune response. Remember I told you about the less circulation because of high blood sugars? So it's a reduced immune response. But heart-healthy grapes or other fruits and vegetables deliver over 1,600 phytonutrients that help cells be healthy and more. The more colorful the vegetable, the better. That was a little blurb from the grape board. But it's true with all vegetables. Just the thing about the fruits, other than berries that are high in fiber and nutrients, and grapes and melons that are high in water and not as much carbs, the pineapple, the peaches, the pears, the apples, all these kind of fruits, they have a lot of simple sugars. So they're really good for us, but make sure you're eating them with a meal, again, because I just don't want your sugar to go up. But grapes, I think it's like 17 or 20 grapes is 15 carbs. So help yourself to a few grapes. You're not going to raise your blood sugar that much. Oh, there's a weird one. It's hunger and loneliness cause similar changes in the brain. Hunger and loneliness. So the neurons that activate when people crave food are also activated when isolated people crave company, according to findings in the Nature Neuroscience magazine, or Nature Neuroscience. Researchers observed the brain activity of people who had fasted for 10 hours, and when they saw images of food, that they saw the same neurons responded when the same participants viewed images of other people after they had spent 10 hours by themselves without the internet. So they're like lonely. They're sitting there reading, I don't know what they're doing. So that's interesting. Whether you don't get enough sleep, or you don't see enough people, or you're hungry, all that makes you crave carbs. So get enough sleep, talk to your friends, and have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And again, bigger lunches and breakfasts, your diet, your digestion can handle those proteins and fibers. Then at nighttime, your body's really useless and it can just digest carbohydrates. So having vegetables for dinner is a great idea. But like I said, work on it how it works for your lifestyle, and we want people to live a healthy life. That's the most important thing. Healthy sleep patterns decrease heart failure risk. So people with healthy sleep habits, this is the last one, by the way. People with healthy sleep habits, such as sleeping 7 or 8 hours a night and not having insomnia, snoring, or excessive daytime sleepiness, had a 42% lower risk of heart failure, regardless of other risk factors, according to a study published in Circulation magazine. The risk of heart failure was also found to be independently associated and 30% lower in people who reported no daytime sleepiness, 17% lower for those who did not have frequent insomnia, and 12% lower for those who slept 7 or 8 hours daily. So this is from the Pharmacy Times Online on November 30th. Oh, I didn't include it. So yes, it looks like heart failure. You want to make sure you're getting good sleep and you're not sleepy in the afternoon. One thing that can make us sleepy in the afternoon is not having enough carbohydrates. So that would be the brown rice and the quinoa and the multigrain bread. They have high vitamin B, and B gives us energy. So like I said, be active first of all, so then you can get sleepy, and then in your meals include some whole grains, and you will be good. It's 10 o'clock or 10 minutes before 1 o'clock. Did anybody have any questions? Next week we'll be having we talk about foods and food groups, and maybe I'll do some recipes because it's the middle of December. Maybe I can find some healthy appetizers and things like that. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody again. And I'm so sorry we have to meet by Zoom, but this is the safest way. And little by little, if you're over 65, you'll be able to get the vaccine before me. I am definitely getting the vaccine. I have seen how they do it. They don't do it with a part of a broken disease. They do it with messenger RNA, which immediately gives the antibodies toward the protein for the antibodies towards the fighting the virus. So it helps your body notice the virus right away instead of discovering it. So if we can have that vaccine, and it can automatically cause our body to get the antibodies, I think this is a really good thing. And the fact that it is 94 or 95 or 90% effective, I really think this is wonderful. And like I said, I'm absolutely going to get it. I've talked to my doctors and nurses friends, and they're all very excited about how this vaccine was developed. It is not a political thing. The CDC and Dr. Fauci really have figured out a new technology to make the vaccines way more effective. So hopefully they're going to do this with the flu also. So I hope you got your flu vaccine. You don't want to have any problems, getting the flu and getting COVID. Oh, please no. So I will look forward to seeing you all next week. And again, if you wanted to contact me, I'm Kirsten Puskar with amblernutrition.com is my website. And thank you so much for joining us, and I'll see you next week.